Without a doubt, one of the hardest things as an entrepreneur is to stay focused on all of the different things you have going on in your life and in your business and to not lose track of your results. And maybe you started this year not really feeling like you hit all of your targets. Maybe you did. Maybe you want to keep it up this year. Either way, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps I'm currently taking to stay focused on my business growth, on my health, and any other area in my life that needs some work. What I noticed is that all of the episodes about health and habits and 2025 growth do really well. So I thought, why not create another episode for you so you can really hack yourself to stay super focused this year and just kick some ass. Okay, let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to Fail to Win, a show where we love to make mistakes and learn from them so you can turn your passion into profits and live life on your own terms. I'm Amy van der Putten from FastForwardAmy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode with simple strategies every Tuesday. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to be the only person who gets me, but right before I was going to start recording these episodes, I checked Slack, which I usually don't do, and I got some bad news about something that I can't disclose on here. But it is so difficult to get yourself to that space of just doing the things you set out to do. And there are so many things that can distract you as a business owner. 2 weeks ago, I got some bad news about some audits that are happening, or just is it bad news? Well, I perceive it as bad news. I don't like that it's happening. Today, I got some other bad news. And isn't it incredible how much willpower you need as an entrepreneur? I think it's incredible. Sometimes, I used to be so bad at it too. Whenever I was in a bad mood or shit was happening, I wouldn't have been able to then record podcast episodes or create content for social media, for example. Now, I think I've just been doing this for such a long time. I started my podcast in 2020. So I have 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this is my 6th year of podcast. Is that correct? 6th year? Holy shit. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, I've already done 5 years. Whoa. So I guess after a while, you learn to just do the thing. So this is me doing the thing. I love the quote by Leila Hormozi. It's fuck the mood, follow the plan. That is what we're doing today, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I just reframe things instead of thinking, oh my God, I have to create a podcast. I think, thank God I have such a fun job where I get to podcast for a living, and that's what I get to do this afternoon. Imagine I got the bad news in and had to do stupid shit. Now I got the bad news in and I get to do something I love and that can make an impact on people. So that's what I'm sticking to. And of course, it also helps that I have some really clear targets for myself, my health, my business, my relationship, everything. And I know that I just need to put in the work. So if you've missed my New Year's episodes, around New Year's for Christmas and New Year's, I created a couple of episodes about how I set targets for the new year, how I create targets for different areas in my life, like for my relationship and all of that. And today I don't want to talk about how to set those targets. Definitely go and check out those episodes if you haven't set any targets. But today I want to talk about how I hack myself to stay focused and consistent on my health and business growth this year, and some of the habits that I've been testing in the last 2 years that I'm taking to a new level this year. So maybe you've been following me online for a while on my FastForwardAmy account or on some of my Dutch accounts, and you might have seen it. But in the last couple of years, I've done quite the glow up, which was really intentional. I hit a low point in 2021 in the height of my business growth. I also I was at the height of my weight, basically, which was not a healthy amount of body fat. And I realized I was insulin resistant at the time. And although I was already working out and eating healthily, there were still a couple of things, one, that were really weighing on me mentally, like in my relationship and stuff like that. And on the other hand, I was eating healthily, but too much, and just like all of those things. So I took a step back and I decided that no matter what I was already doing, I was just gonna not quit until I got to my healthiest version ever. So in the past couple of years, I have made tremendous leaps in how much better I feel and how much better I also look, because, it reflects in the way I look basically. I got rid of a lot of the unhealthy fats. I became a lot fitter. If I compare myself to the way I was back then, I also think I'm just a different person in the way I am disciplined and how quickly I bounce back from bad news. For example, me recording this episode, where I maybe would have wallowed about the news a couple of years ago. Now I'm like, just do the thing, Amy. Let's quit yapping. So this year, I just started the new year in Dubai. Today's my birthday. And, today, the day that you get to listen to this episode, I am actually pre-recording it. Hey, oh, hold up. It's not my birthday. I'm releasing this on a Tuesday. My birthday is a Saturday. Haha. Basically, I just turned 32. So how am I making sure that in this new year of my life, I am going to make huge leaps in terms of business and health growth and goals? I'm going to share with you my exact process that I just sat down for. So what I always do in any given area, let's take either health that I just set some targets for, but it could also be business, for example. One is I set goals and I make these very, very concrete. I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, I don't set goals. I don't like numbers. They give me stress. You do you. I'm just sharing how I do it. Personally, I also think a lot of the people, and feel free to disagree, but a lot of people who don't set goals because they're afraid of not hitting their goals, unpopular opinion. And maybe it could be a good tip for you to maybe set more realistic goals, but it doesn't mean that you can't set any goals. If you really hate numbers, you can learn to love them. What you could also do is just set goals in terms of feelings or whatever. But yeah, I try to make them as specific as possible according to the SMART format, because it really helps me when I make things as concrete as possible. I think, for example, in my health, I have a body fat percentage goal currently because I realized I'd gained a couple of percentages. That's not a word, but I got distracted, okay? And because of my hormones, what happens is I just have to try a little bit harder than other people, unfortunately. So when I get distracted, it's like when I do well, nothing's going to come off. But when I get distracted and I make a couple of mistakes health-wise, I pay for it dearly. So one of my goals is to reduce my body fat percentage, be more healthy. I want to be even healthier than I've already gotten these past couple of years. So it's like the fittest me possible this year, which is a goal every year. And I mean, it almost always works. Right now, I just want to take it to the next level. Business-wise, I have some goals in terms of amount of clients, profit, costs, all of that. And so I love putting these into numbers, because what happens when I don't do that is when it stays too vague or when I don't have a deadline, I get distracted easily. Whereas when it's very concrete, I just know, even if I only set them once and I would only look at them once, I just know which direction I'm headed, and it really helps. So if you currently have something you are wishing for, you are desiring, I would ask you to turn it into a very concrete, specific goal. Once I have that, for example, for my body, it was the body fat percentage, but it's also that I want to deadlift 100 kilos this year. Then the second step is I make a plan of actions, and I literally make a timeline that goes along with it. It's not just a goal and the things I'm going to do to reach this. I literally have this huge Excel file which has the entire year mapped out in one overview, and then also week per week. So I see week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way up until week 52 of the year. And I see where I'm taking which actions and by when I hit which targets. So what I'll do is in the week, I'll set what's happening. For example, currently I'm following hormone treatment again. Okay, so where are you in hormone treatment? Where are you headed? When are you traveling? I see the timeline of everything that's happening so I can anticipate what's happening and when I have to prepare extra. And then on the right-hand side of my Excel file, I'll write down my targets. For example, I have a steps target. I'll write down the steps target on the right-hand side. And throughout the week, and then this is step 3, is I track my results. For my health, I don't do this every day. Every day I'll look at my Oura Ring and my stats, but I'll do it every Monday morning from now on for the upcoming year. So every Monday morning, I'm going to measure my body fat percentage. I'm going to sit down and track my health results from the past week, which means I'm tracking my sleep, I'm tracking my stress, I'm tracking the scale, aka the body fat percentage, because I have this really fancy Tanita scale. Not the type of scale that gets like a receipt out of it, but pretty fancy where you have to lift up a bar. It's funny because last year I asked it for my birthday. So my boyfriend and my friends got it for me. I think it's like the weirdest gift ever to ask, but I just know it helps me stay focused. And the whole reasoning behind me focusing so hard on my health is I was sick for a long time as a kid, and I'm just very aware that our health is the most important gift we can get and that we just can never take it for granted. So that's why it's so important for me. I know what it's like to not have it. And you can think I'm weird for this, but that's okay. I am a little bit weird. It's also something I had to come to terms with. So I have my goals. Second step is I make a plan of actions where I also see the obstacles. This is really important. So I'll really note, not necessarily, oh, when everything is going well, this is what the plan looks like. But I'll note like, oh, that's when I'm on a classic car rally with my dad. That's when I'm traveling. Okay, this is when it's going to be extra hard to stick to my plan. And then I'll write down when I'll do my workouts, for example. I'll list up my actions in the plan. I have an ideal week formula. I know when I'm doing my workouts. I know how many steps I need to hit. So then the third step becomes I track these results. And so for my health, it could be I'm tracking the body fat percentage. It could be getting my measurements done every 2 weeks, but it could also be tracking how much did I deadlift. I don't know, how much time did I spend outside, but the same goes for your business. The goal could be I want 1,000 clients. Then the plan of actions could be I want to do 4 big launches this year and I want to be running ads and retargeting ads. And then the third step could be you're tracking your results. So every week you're listing up, or every day even, what's your incoming cash flow? How many clients do you have? What's your retention rate? Etc., etc., etc. I don't think you should be tracking a gajillion things. I think in your company, you could be tracking a lot. But what you want to do if you want to hack yourself to stay super focused is you want to track the most important metrics. And for me, and this is going to be mind-blowing to a lot of people, but for me, when I'm tracking my health stuff, I just need to track my weights. And of course, I weight lift and I gain muscle mass, but I'm not gaining muscle mass by the 2 kilos, guys. I'm going to be honest. If I gain 2 kilos in a day, it's because I'm retaining a lot of water. It's because I've been eating a lot of carbs. And if I gain 2 kilos every day, for example, which isn't going to happen, but if that were the case, it's not like, ooh, but it might be muscles. No, you don't gain 2 kilos of muscles in a day. So for me, the scale, because I don't have a too emotional relationship with it, I conquered all of that years ago. I can actually track my results with the scale and, for example, by measuring my belly. That could be a very valid way for me to monitor my progress. Then for my business, it could be just simply tracking incoming cash flow, banked sales. Or it could be tracking how many clients do we have, or how many new people are coming on our newsletter, or how many podcast downloads did last week's episode get, stuff like that. But I try to not make these too many because then the tracking itself becomes the goal, but the results are actually the goal. So these are the really simple 3 steps I take. I set goals in the area we're talking about, then I make the plan of actions, then I track the results. But I know you're probably thinking, but how? Like, how do I make sure that I'm actually tracking all of this, that I plan it out? Well, luckily, that file that I created for myself with my year's overview is something I want to gift you. It's the first year I've actually created this huge ass plan and implemented 4 big launches inside of the sales plan, and then actually tweaked it so I can use it for my health. And I really want to gift it to you so you can also get started to plan out the rest of your year. I'm going to be honest, it's February now as you're listening to this probably. And if you haven't made your year's plan, chances are February is going to go by, then it's March, and all of a sudden we're 8 months into the year and you didn't reach your goals, you didn't set your goals because you didn't have a plan. Businesses with a plan get 30% plus more results than businesses without a plan. So if simply by creating a plan, you can get 30% more results this year, I would say amen to that. Let's go and do that. So I'm going to gift my planner to you. You can't share it with other people. It's just for you. All you have to do is go to my Instagram, FastForwardAmy, and DM me the word 2025 planner, all one word, so 2025 planner, and I'll send it to you. If you don't want to go to Instagram, or you don't live on Instagram like most of us, then you can also just go to the link in the description. I'll add it there as well. That's much simpler, no? So what you're going to see is just simply the planner with some tips on how you can fill it out. And if you want to switch it up and create it and use it as a health tracker, you can also do that. You can tweak it, just like do whatever you want with it, as long as you hit your goals this year and I can help you out with them. That makes me happy. So I don't know, take a photo, send me a picture when you're working on your planner. Let me know what your goals are for this year. Feel free to DM me. I love that. And I don't know, share it to your stories or something that you're creating a plan that will hold you accountable. Feel free to tag me. Love to see everyone working on their plans. Yeah, don't just download it. Actually use it. That would be really great. Okay. Talk to you next week for another episode of the Fast Forward Amy Show. Every Tuesday, I'm here. 5 years straight. Never missing a Tuesday. Bye.